how to make coffee filter art and flowers. So I am going to show you now how to use the coffee filters that I gave you to make some fun art and then to turn that art into flowers, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is spread out that coffee filter I gave you, right? Okay, and then I'm going to take out my markers and pick colors that I like, and I'm going to color my coffee filter. Now you can do as much or as little color as you want. The more color you put on it, the more color there will be at the end. So if you want it to kind of have a lot of white space, that's fine. You just leave a lot of white space. But if you want it to be really colorful, then you want to put more color on it. So let's see, I'm going to add a few more colors. Yellow again on my edges because I feel like it. Okay, so now I have colored my coffee filter. You can draw pictures and patterns. The ones that I'm going to turn into flowers, I had more white space on, and I drew some like patterns on. So you can do it however you want. All right, so there is my coffee filter that I have colored. Now you'll notice it actually leaves some marks on the table underneath. So you may want to do it on a table that can be white down, or put a piece of paper underneath it so that it catches that color transfer through. All right, now I'm going to take a rag. This is just like an old dirty towel. My preschoolers know that we have the rags to clean up any spills and messes. That's what I'm using to put underneath it. Okay. And then I'm going to put my coffee filter on top of it for this next step. Okay. This is important because when I spray this with water, the colors are going to run. And it is going to bleed through even more onto the rag underneath. So here's an example of what happened when I sprayed this one with water. And here is what happened when I sprayed this one with water. Okay, so you can see this one has a lot more color that came through onto the towel. That's because I sprayed this one with a lot more water. Do you see how the colors are much lighter and my pattern is harder to see? You can tell that some of the water kind of settled here in the middle. So we really don't want to put too much water on our coffee filters. We want just enough to kind of make the colors run together. Oh, you know what I forgot to tell you is to make sure that you use washable markers, okay? The markers that will come off with water because they work better for this activity, okay? But when I just put 5 sprays on this one and see how they kind of ran together in a really fun way. This was actually the black marker. Black markers have a fun color pattern that separates out when you put them on the coffee filters. We've got some orange and some blue. Isn't that fun? So I wanted to just show you what the black markers do. You can try each of your different colors to see what happens to them. Okay, so this one only had 5 sprays, so that's what we're gonna do over here. Okay, if you want it to be lighter colored like this one, then you do more water. All right, but the more water you do, the more of your color is going to wash out onto the rag underneath. Okay, so now I'm going to spray my coffee filter with my water, okay? And I've just got water in a spray bottle. If you don't have a spray bottle that you can put water in, you can just put water on your fingers, like dip them in a bowl, and then spray it on. You just, again, want to make sure you don't get too much water or it'll wash out. Okay, so 5 sprays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Do you see how some of my colors are starting to spread? Okay, that will continue as it dries and it gets this fun feathered effect. All right. If I kept spraying it, that water would start washing into the towel underneath. But you can already see it spreading more. That is one of the fun things that this coffee filter does to the colors. Okay, now I'm seeing that it looks like my edges didn't get very wet. So I'm going to just do a couple more little sprays right on my edges to get them a little bit more. And maybe it's just that the yellow doesn't feather as much. But that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to take this one off to the side and I'm going to put it somewhere where it can dry. Now once they have dried, okay, I made these ones yesterday, but they were really dry and ready to turn into flowers after about a day. Not a day, sorry, about an hour. They were dry. Okay, I'm going to take my 2 coffee filters. Now, if I want to, I can cut the edges of this to give my flower a texture around the edges. I'm not going to do that today, but if you wanted to do that, you could use like scrapbooking textured scissors, or you could just cut patterns with a regular pair of scissors if you want to. Okay, but I'm taking 2 of these coffee filters and I'm stacking them on top of each other. Okay, these are the ones that I decorated. And then I'm going to take a pipe cleaner. Okay, you got 5 of these in your packet from me. And I am going to stick it up through the middle of my coffee filter gently. Okay, I'm going to kind of twist and poke, and that wire in the middle is already starting to come through, so be really careful with your fingers because you don't want to hurt yourself, okay? But I took my wire and I poked it up through and I am pulling it down about an inch. Okay, now I'm going to take the top of my pipe cleaner on the inside side and I'm going to fold it down and make a little knot or ball. Okay, so that it doesn't pull back out. See that? Okay, now I'm actually going to pull my coffee filters down a little bit further so that this is now sticking up about an inch. Okay, I'm going to do that because when I fold these up, I want a little bit of room to wrap my stem around. Okay, so the next step is to pinch this part here, the papers underneath. Okay, see how I pinch, pinch, pinch until I get to my little knot. Okay, I pinched up, and then you can just kind of pull them up like this. Now, I'm going to fill my pinchy part here and twist it a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to take my pipe cleaner and I'm going to fold it up to that part where I twisted it, where I had my little knot of pipe cleaner inside. And then I twist it around the stem. This part is a little tricky, so you might have to be persistent. You want to kind of hold it and wrap tight to keep your flower secure. Okay, so we wrap it down, and then I just kind of straighten out my stem. And I have a coffee filter flower that I made. Okay, and if you look way down in here, that's my knot of pipe cleaner, and that is like the pistil in a real flower. There's that part that comes up that is connected to the ovule where the seeds and the fruit come from. Okay, so there is my coffee filter flower, and you see how if I had cut the edges it would kind of be shaped different. I can separate these out a little bit and make one kind of scrunchier, right, so that my flower has more volume. If I want, I just kind of squish them, okay, and make my flower. All right, and that's it. That is the whole process. Have fun making coffee filter art and coffee filter flowers this spring break.